do like their emblem.
Only weeks ago, my lord husband was alive. And the realm was at peace.
Okay, I immediately have to pause already. We are 21 seconds into this and already Alicent with the bullshit. Was the realm at peace, Alicent? Because only a few short weeks ago when your lord husband was alive, y'all were trying to usurp Luke's claim to Driftmark. Like, okay, Alicent. I get frustrated with Alicent because the writers seem to want multiple things to happen with Alicent. Most of it being having their cake and eating it too. What I mean by this is they are like, oh, poor Alicent, she was a pawn of the patriarchy and Otto. And isn't this so terrible? But at the same time, they want to give her agency in certain instances. And it doesn't make sense with her character. And I get frustrated because I'm going to be one of those people. In the books, Alicent comes off very differently. First of all, there's an age difference between Alicent and Rhaenyra. And that does play into what goes on. And with that, it's so much more dynamic. A lot of people have said that Alicent in the books is kind of like Marjorie Tyrell and Cersei together. I disagree. I think she's a little more like Olenna. And can you imagine what that would have been like to have an Olenna character in this storyline? And it pisses me off only because why is Cersei so fucking memorable as a character? It has everything to do with the fact that Cersei is unapologetically Cersei. And you love to hate her, you love to love her. And we could have had such an iconic character in Alicent Hightower. But the writers didn't want to go that way for some reason. They really want to have their cake and eat it too. And again, I think it's because they were just trying to make some kind of statement about the patriarchy, which, yes, is true. Yes, it's part of Westeros. It's misogyny, all the things. But Alicent was more, like I say, for me, she was more like Olenna, and she really could have owned her space. And maybe she started as a pawn of Otto, but it could have been then her stepping into her power and becoming this other figure. And I want to give Alicent her credit, right? In the sense that I don't want to keep saying she's like an Olenna character. She's her own character. She has her own place in the histories of Westeros. But I'm giving you the example of the kind of dynamics we could have had at play here. Can you imagine Alicent going up against Otto when she's fully realized? Alicent versus Daemon being fully realized, like as kind of with that Olenna attitude. It could have just been so cool, man. But anyway, moving on. The Greens.
On his deathbed, he knew the realm would never accept a queen. Rhaenyra's supporters will believe what they wish. But Viserys wanted Aegon to succeed him.
Whatever you say, Alicent. Seriously. Whatever you say.
They wish now not for the good of the realm, but for the satisfaction of vengeance.
Look at Otto. Look
Not
who's
against
speaking,
the king,
sir.
and I will pay it back 100 times over. I'm as
I
fierce
hate...
as any of them.
Sorry, I have to pause again. I hate Aegon's crown. Again, there's a thing of what the book had and then what the show gave us. And it's like the production team on Game of Thrones and anything to do with A Song of Ice and Fire, they rarely miss. But I gotta be honest, man, whoever is the production team, when they were imagining Aegon the Conqueror's crown, and that's what they gave us, they were acting as if those are real ass rubies that they're funding to put on this crown. Like, put some cosplay jewelry on it, like create some fake rubies. I don't care what y'all have to do, but they should have been big, gigantic stones a la what we see as Aegon's crown depicted in multiple different artworks. It's so lame that we get this dinky ass crown, but whatever. I guess it tracks, right? It's for a dinky ass king, so I guess maybe that's the shade that they're throwing to Aegon. I don't know, but let's hope. Anyway, moving on.
You have no idea the sacrifices that were made to put you on that throne.
My uncle is a challenge I welcome. If he dares face me.
I love the balls in
We
you,
will
kid. I really
prevail
do.
and bring forth peace. But you must accept that the path to victory now is one of violence.
Good.
I think that's a scene we're gonna get in
war, then.
episode 1.
All my life, I've endeavoured to serve both my house and the realm. And somehow none of it matters.
Did you, Alicent? See what I'm saying? We could have had so much. We could have had way cooler shit with Alicent. Okay, that was the green trailer. Gonna pause. Okay, now we're gonna watch the black trailer starting now.
We fight for our queen!
My father chose me, his firstborn child, to succeed him. He held to his decision until death. And yet, Alicent's son sits
I think
my
that's an
throne.
interesting distinction. Alicent's son.
I mean to fight this war and win
I
it.
hope so, because otherwise don't start the war.
The realm will soon tear itself apart. If men do not remember the oath sworn to King Viserys and to his rightful heir.
The High Towers are marching. You must crush this beast at its head.
Our terms are very simple. Renounce the false king and bend the knee to the innocent, or your house burns.
When the desire to kill and burn takes hold and reason is forgotten, you will not even remember what began the war in the first.
Okay, pause. This isn't going to make so much sense if you haven't seen my reactions to season 1. But they're doing some shit with Rhaenys that I'm conflicted upon, and it's giving big red flags from Game of Thrones season 7 and 8. Definitely from season 8. What am I talking about? They seem to be making Rhaenys like an audience avatar or like the moral compass, but in doing this, she says some shit that's so out of place with what's going on in the rest of the world that they're supposed to be in, and it reeks of writer's clairvoyance that she shouldn't know and she shouldn't technically feel the way she feels within the universe that she exists. And that's what I mean by writer's clairvoyance. She says some things that's like her character in world probably wouldn't ever feel that way, but yet we have her here saying some things that's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So right now, you know, that whole line about when everything pops off, we won't even remember why this war started to begin with. Really, Rhaenys? First of all, I don't know who she's talking to, but if she's talking to Rhaenyra or anyone adjacent to Rhaenyra, it's like, sweetie, what the fuck are you talking about? I think I'm going to remember the fact that they withheld information that my father died only so they could crown Aegon, aka usurp my throne. Pretty sure I'm going to fucking remember that. And even if all those other things didn't happen, they killed my son. I'm not going to forget that any fucking time soon, Rhaenys. Thank you so much for your input. It's bizarre. And she's said some bullshit things in episode 9. Episode 9 of season 1 is the stupidest fucking episode. It was spectacle for over substance, and I hate it. It stands out like a sore thumb compared to everything else. And you know, we get that dumb moment with Rhaenys, the stunt she pulls in the dragon pit, and I cannot forgive her for it because it doesn't make sense. The only thing redeeming that moment for me is that I think they're using it in season 2 for a particular incident to go down. In which case, depending on how they handle that, then it will make sense. But for the most part, it was so stupid. It was so dumb. And in episode 10, when she says some bullshit about, I'm sorry I keep swearing, but I'm just, it's really stupid, of surely everything will come to war, but it's not my war to start. And she's saying this as if she didn't hitch her wagon to Rhaenyra already, and that she is already opposite anything the Greens will do. And I guess I can understand some of her logic, but it doesn't make sense. This is what I'm saying about the writers kind of doing things for Rhaenys that seem so out of character. I personally would have loved that she flew in. Like, I don't even know why she needed to bust in. And I still hate the fact that there's no consequences for Rhaenys thus far. And again, like I said, I think it's tying into season 2. Some things happening in season 2 that, I'm trying to keep it spoiler free, that should give consequences to the actions that she did take and didn't take thus far. And that's the only thing that's really redeeming it for me, is this outcome. But again, it depends on how they handle this. And in any case, I just don't understand why they need to make her this moral compass. I don't even know if that's the position Rhaenys would have taken in any of this. But moving on.
Fear what I've begun.
I fear what I've begun. What does that mean? Okay. Well, that was the Black trailer. Pause. Okay, so that was my takes on what was going on with the Green and the Black trailer. I know that there's now an official trailer coming out, so it's already out, sorry, that I haven't watched yet, so I'm going to do that one next. Hopefully it gives a little more context. I figured just for the fact that my channel is starting, I would put out different videos just to kind of beef up the content, get things rolling, kind of hopefully get somewhere in the algorithm and picked up by the algorithm. For the most part, I'm definitely looking forward to season 2. I do have my concerns because, like I said, while season 1 was really great, there were things that the writers decided to omit or change or tweak that make absolutely zero sense. And I know I'm harping on Alicent and Rhaenys, but they're the ones I see like the biggest problems with thus far. And one of the other changes, while I have you here to talk about it, is Rhaenys again. Because Rhaenys is a Baratheon, and she has the Baratheon dark hair. And the only reason why they changed Rhaenys in the show to have the white hair of the Targaryens is because she rides a dragon, and she does play, obviously, a pivotal role in the dance. And I think their stupid reasoning was for the normies of, well, if Targaryen has white hair equal Targaryen, then we can't have Rhaenys be black-haired, the dark hair of the Baratheons, because people won't understand why she can ride a dragon. And it's that kind of dumbass hand-holding that Game of Thrones in the first few seasons never did, and that was a good thing. They didn't have to handhold you through shit. In fact, they really didn't want to handhold you through anything with what was going on. You had to pay attention. You had to take notes. You had to know, you had to rewatch episodes to really pick stuff up and reread chapters if you're coming from the books, right? And it's so disappointing that a change like that had to be made because they wanted to make sure people understood that she's a Targaryen. And it's like, oh my God, why are we doing this? And those are some of the bigger red flags that I've been seeing from season 1. There's other things that I cover in my reaction from season 1 that I have not edited or put up yet, but I don't really know if I am going to continue with it, just because season 2 starts so quickly. I think it's next weekend, and I really thought I had more time to do these videos. Clearly not. Thank you for listening to me rant a little bit about season 1 and some of the character changes. But hopefully we can all reconvene here once season 2 starts, and thank you for watching. Okay, bye.